We got a unique team for today's content for Open Great League. Toxapex up in front, Umbreon at the back, and in between, of course, we're gonna use the main featured Pokemon, Annihilate. So we're looking at a pretty strong team. Overall, what we need to do here is to aggressively switch into our Umbreon, try to draw out something like a Fairy type, finish it off with Toxapex so that our Annihilate will be on the best possible position to sweep whatever remains at the very end. So with that said, now, cue the intro. Let's begin our battles for Great League with that Poliwrath up in front. Obviously this is looking kinda good for us, so what we need to do here is to tank whatever they throw so that our Sludge Wave right after will connect for big time damage. So here comes the first move, Toxapex now for the win, and of course we're gonna land the first nuke. Down goes a nice chunk of that Pokemon, but not before they switch out with a little bit of extra energy farmed up. Now on the switch we're meeting up with Chargeback, and I decide to bring my Umbreon into play because, as you're gonna see in a while, my counters are gonna be resisted from my Annihilate, and I do not like that risk at all. Just remember here that we need 3 of those turns for a Snarl, they need 4 for a Volt Switch, so we can definitely take advantage of that and throw in between, avoiding those CMPs. Then we go eventually to the Chargeback, but to be fair, all we need to do at this point is to return into the battle with our Toxapex, go for our Brine, and as you can see over here, we managed to get that final shield out of play. X-Scissor now in a weird effort to, I have no clue what to do, but still we managed to catch here the move on our Annihilate, and right after we will try to farm down. I have a feeling though that this has to be either a crunch or a discharge, and we guess right, while at the very end they have a Talonflame. The battle is definitely not over yet. We need to get our hands on the Shadow Ball, almost one-shotting down the Kentucky Fried Chicken, and Flame Charge now will be blocked for sure. Down they go to the counters, but Poliwrath has one move remaining, and that is Ice Wind. We're not gonna fall to that move yet. First we need to go for the Ice Punch, and right after we're gonna knock out each other at the same time, and one Poison Jab later from our leader we managed to get that amazing victory. Into the next battle now with the Altaria up in front. This is looking kinda promising for us because if we land that Sludge Wave we can potentially beat them down, but both of us are pretty bulky and weak Saints neutral moves, so it's gonna be kind of an even scenario. So Sludge Wave now on that Altaria, and right after you can see that my opponent will go for the CMP, and of course they're gonna win it. So down I go now to the Sky Attack, but it doesn't matter. Umbreon is just gonna go into the battle, able to farm down with those Snarls, and of course now have the advantage with those energy points. At the very end they have a Whiskas, which is kinda of a problematic Pokemon for us when under shielding, because of that Scald able to deal so much damage, and of course try to potentially get the debuff on our side. So as you can see here, we're just gonna go at it with a Foul Play. So this is gonna provoke some shields out of the way, another Foul Play is imminent, and they're getting super low. We're looking all of a sudden kinda good here, because with that final shield remaining on their end, I'm pretty sure they want to keep it for their final Pokemon. Mud Bomb can easily be tanked, not easily, but at least tanked by my Umbreon. We have one more Foul Play worth of energy. This can be kinda crucial for us, and now at the very end they have a Tentacruel. So Shadow Ball is gonna be my main priority against the 10 type Pokemon, and of course we're having kinda the upper hand, obviously up against those Acid Sprays. So I'm expecting another Acid Spray, but to be fair, we're just gonna block no matter what. We do not want to risk it because those counters will eventually farm down my opponent. Into the next battle now with a Lantern up in front. This is obviously a very bad one for us, and we meet up with a Shadow Venusaur. So Foul Play will be my main way to go here, and of course since they are Shadow, a couple of those Foul Plays might actually do the trick at this point. At some point I might have the upper hand with my Annihilate towards the end game, because we just secured that shield advantage, which is the key for your Annihilate waiting at the very end. Frenzy Plant now to finish off my Umbreon, and of course Toxapex now will return into the battle, able to tank one move, a lot of damage on my bulky beast, and right after we can easily farm down with those poison jabs. The Basidon of the Ocean will just return into the battle with a Sludge Wave for big time damage on that Lantern, but unfortunately for us they have another ghost type at the back, which is that Skeledirge. I said another because the other Pokemon, the other ghost type in this battle is my Annihilate, so now Disarming Voice needs to be blocked, and of course what we need to do here is to throw before that second Incinerate is gonna be registered. We will try to take the maximum amount of energy on our side, and let's see if we can outspeed, but of course we cannot. Here comes the move, the Surf, down we go to that Pokemon, and of course before we reach to the Brine they have enough energy to finish off our Toxapex as well in a big knockout move. Well played to my opponent, and let's keep going here with the battle since we're having now an Umbreon up in front. This Pokemon is always pretty bulky for a lot of opponents, and of course as you can see here it can survive once again my moves. However, we are also bulky and we're looking at pretty two tanks going up against each other, but my poison jabs in combination with those Sludge Waves are gonna do the correct amount of work that we need for our team success. Here comes now another move, we can easily survive it, nothing to worry about, while we can still reach to another Sludge Wave, and this time if they do not block, Umbreon is gonna go down. Let's see what they have now at the very end, because Politoed is coming in, and of course right after they are trying to farm us down, I will try to go for the Sludge Wave first, able to get that shield out of play, and my only scenario here to win this battle is to go into this individual matchup with my Umbreon, trying to make them throw all of their energy to my own Umbreon, and of course I'm gonna use it as a punching bag. They have those scalds, hopefully for me no debuff, that is a first I believe after a whole season of a scald buff, and of course right after we're having Politoed coming in with another scald. Once again we will try to bank that energy. At the very end they have a Nidoqueen, and of course after that Ice Punch they will immediately back out, so we can take yet another big victory for our team. Into the next one now, and we're facing a Dugong this time. So this Pokemon is also a bad one, much like that Lantern matchup, because of it having access to Drill Run, and of course it can do about 50% to our side, while they can easily survive my Sludge Waves, and at the same time they can also outspeed to those charge attacks. So here comes the second, and of course I know that if they get to the Icy Wind, perhaps I can get the chance to finish them off. Just remember, they always need 5 of those Ice Shards to reach to the first charge attack and 4 to the second, and then from thereafter it's just a loop. So here comes now Poliwrath into play on its Shadow form, and I decide to reveal here my Umbreon. I want to protect my Toxapex just in case they have something like a Charmer at the very end. So to my surprise there is no Fairy type at the back, instead they're gonna have a double fighting, one is Pseudo Fighter like this Deoxys, and of course my foul plays here are gonna come in clutch. So my opponent will eventually farm me down, which is kinda good I guess for them, but still all I want to do at this point is to return to the battle eventually with my Annihilate, and of course start farming down the crucial energy that they can offer. Psycho Boost now can easily be taken even though I have 2 shields, and that's mainly because they already used one to my Toxapex debuffing themselves, but I also know that at this point the Deoxys might actually have one more Psycho Boost ready to go. So what I want to do at this point is to overfarm as much as I can. I want to get about 100 energy to be fair, throw the Ice Punch on that Poliwrath, and right after I can have the Shadow Ball for whatever HP is remaining to that Deoxys. And since I'm seeing here the Deoxys coming in with that little amount of HP, well, an Ice Punch could easily seal the deal here, but yeah, since we could go for that Shadow Ball, why not go for it, right? So anyways, into the next battle now. And we're having a Cloud side, which is a pretty bad lead for us. Not only our Toxapex is gonna get walled down by this ground type Pokemon slash that poison type that it has, but at the same time this one can provide extra pressure to our backline by resisting those counters for sure. And you can see here that even up against our Umbreon, even without Mega Horn, which was their legacy move, I think that Umbreon is still gonna struggle up against a Cloud side. This is gonna be kind of a close scenario after all, but another Sludge Bomb is coming up, and of course my Umbreon will go down just barely enough before reaching to that foul play. So now Annihilape is gonna go in. They want to go for the Sludge Bomb, not even the Big Nuke and the Earthquake, so we will eventually farm down with those counters, getting some extra energy on our side. Annihilape now for the bait, and right after the Shadow Ball, but they managed to catch on that Skarmory. The battle is definitely not over yet, but they have a team pretty good up against my Toxapex. Pretty much their typing is resisting my poison moves by a lot. So here comes now the Sky Attack, which I know we can take, and right after we need to go ahead all in up against our opponent with that Brine. My opponent now will come into the battle with that Sableye, and of course those poison moves are never gonna be enough to finish off whatever they have at the very end, because Sableye here not only has the shield but also the typing advantage, and even though we can get here to that Brine, I'm pretty sure that they can easily survive it. Oh my goodness, they are just flexing at this point, and another foul play is imminent. Just for the memes, I will press here the Sludge Wave, but I know for sure that they have the shield, so the outcome cannot be overcome at all. So well played to my opponent, and let's move forward now into the next battle with the Umbreon up in front. This Pokemon, not the best for us, but still not the worst. We saw it before, I believe, in individual matchup, but this one in particular carries the move Psychic, which makes it obviously a bad lead for us. So Umbreon is always gonna be a troublesome Pokemon with its bulk, but when it can hit you with super effective moves, well, that is kind of a game changer. At this point, I was expecting them to go for the foul play because I was counting the moves, and I'm pretty close right here to another Brine. Here comes the first one. We managed to get the shield, but unfortunately for us, our IVs will not make up for our skills because we cannot reach to another Brine, and that's kind of a sad scenario. It doesn't matter, still my Umbreon now can go in, easily tank whatever they throw. Now we know that they have no last resort at all since they threw that Psychic on my Toxapex, and knowing that fact, I will try to bank that 100 energy for the end game, while my Annihilape will have the upper hand by sniping them down. So Annihilape now not only will fail at sniping down that opposing Umbreon, but at the same time we will provoke that Galvantula. I took the risk by not blocking the move, and it ends up being a lance. So right here my Shadow Ball will be my main way to go up against the Azumarill. Even when my attack stat is low, I guess it is still gonna do so much damage. That's why my opponent decided to block here, and right after I will try to go for the last resort, but unfortunately for me the Snarl was pressed, and right after we're just gonna see that they can catch on their own Umbreon. Pretty good call by my opponent, and right after they are having the return of the Azumarill. I'm just gonna take whatever they throw here, just the Ice Beam, going for those baits, and now we have some more last resorts to throw up against my opponent. Azumarill is a troublesome Pokemon for a lot of dark types, but when you are using a bulky one like a Mandibuzz or this Umbreon, you can always count on the bulk to survive the moves, and at the same time provide some extra coverage with those last resorts. So Shadow Ball now to finish off Azumarill and get finally this big victory for my team. Into the final one now with another Lantern up in front. This is scary. So I'm just gonna switch out to my Umbreon, and we managed to provoke out of their backline that Altaria, which is pretty great for my Annihilape because we might carry the move Ice Punch, but eventually they can easily farm us down, especially if they have at least one shield remaining on their end. So here comes now the Sky Attack. Not even the Moonblast, I can easily tank that, while I can still reach to another pair of of those foul plays, one to drop them severely low and one more to guarantee the knockout. Are they gonna sacrifice a second shield here? No, they're not. So down they go, and all of a sudden we have a win condition with our Annihilate being paired up with that Lantern, and of course now the Talonflame will have to face the wrath of my Toxapex. So Flame Charge can easily be tanked here, while we can still go for the Brine for some really nice super effective damage on the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Of course they can survive, but we don't care at all at this point, because we can easily farm down with those poison moves, and at this point, well, Lantern has nothing to throw up against us. Surf can easily be taken, while all we need to do is to return at some point into the battle with our Annihilate and start farming down by flexing those two shields that we have kept for the end game. That is gonna be all for today, trainers. Thank you for watching and for staying around till the end of this video. Before you go though, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you already haven't for some weird reason, and over here I have 2 videos for you to check out. Feel free to check them out, and I will catch you up later into the next one.